Hi, this is Tammy Matthews, and I'm going to show you how to edit with some features in Adobe Photoshop, and a couple of my favorite editorial tools. Content Aware and the Patch tool are a couple of my favorite tools. Anyways, sorry. I have this photo here that I've provided for you. It's called the banyan tree, and I took this photo. It's actually one of my photographs, and it was taken in Sarasota. So let's jump right in. It's the reason I have this blue line here, and if you don't know how to do this, it's right here with under view. It's new guide, and I just entered one guide. And I place it right here. And the reason I have this guide here is because everything from this side over is what we're going to be working with. Everything to the left, we're not going to be concerned with. So we don't have to worry about this little guy over here. We don't have to worry about this tree. And we don't have to worry about this tree right here. So everything on this side is what we're going to be working with. We're going to use the right over here on this button, right here, the patch tool, and the Content Aware Move tool. And then I'm going to show you how to make a really neat photograph with this. So let's get started. This is a JPEG that I provided for you, and what we're going to do is first let's start with making our canvas. The photograph itself, let's look under image size. As you can see across the ruler bar, it is a large photo. It is 60 by 40, and it's at 72 resolution, and in pixels, inches, whatever we call that. So we're going to make our canvas size to play in. Initially, we can leave it at about that size. So we're going to say File, New. Sorry. I'll get this right. New, custom, 60. I think we have to change that to inches first. Inches by 40. And we'll leave it at transparent. That's what we want to be on. If yours is not, change that to transparent. And we'll say, okay. So here is our workspace that we're going to work in. And just kind of pull this down. And then we're going to grab, see if this works for me, because it kind of works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You want to grab this and drop it in. It didn't work for me this time. So what we'll do is click over here, grab this, and drop it in. And it worked. Okay, so this one back here should be the JPEG. You can then just minimize that. And now we have our untitled, and you can save it if you like. Push that up into place. Just kind of move it in so that it's in place. There we go. So just kind of move it into place so that you have space to work with. Okay? So now we are going to make sure that we have two of them. You want to have two copies so you have an original, and so we're going to take, now that we have this one here, we're going to drag a second one down here to copy it. So now we have copy one, copy two, and we don't need this layer. So we're going to delete that. And you can name this one here Banyan. And then you want to lock one of them, the bottom one. Where is the locking key on this one? There it is, the lock. So you're going to lock this one. This is your, why did the lock go away? So this is your locked one, and this is your layer that you're going to keep and work with. Again, this is your bottom one, it's locked. That's your original. This one here is the layer that we're going to work with and edit. Okay, so on this one here, again, we're going to put that line back in so that you can see, go to View, New Guide, and just drop it in around 16 vertical so that you can see, and then just kind of move it to about the edge of this tree. It's okay if you get a slight bit of the tree, but you really don't want a whole lot of that tree. You can zoom in slightly if you'd like, say around 40, just so that you can, whoops, this mouse is really loose. Just kind of get, you really don't want a whole lot of the tree, just barely. But your goal is to get just the edge of this building, but really nothing from that tree. And you'll see why in just a bit, because we're going to kind of step this up and get moving. Okay, so there's a couple of little anomalies that we want to remove, and the main thing we want to get rid of is this urn right here with this urn with a fern. Isn't that funny? So let's get on to the patch tool. Let's see if the patch tool is what we want. We want to just click on the patch tool and start selecting pieces of it and grab it over here to the white area. Now, see how it's fuzzy? When it's fuzzy right here, that means what we want to make sure is that up here on patch, we want to make sure that this is moved down here to content aware. Okay, content aware for the patch tool, that our structure is at approximately 4 and that color is probably around the same. You have to play with these numbers and see what works for you. So I'm going to move back to move the patch on our history. I like to have the history up, and then we're going to drag it one more time and see how that looks. It's looking a little bit better, has a little bit of haze, but so if you want to take that up a notch more and a notch more, you just kind of have to play with it. We'll go back once and we'll see if that does it a little bit better. And it does look a little bit better. So what I like to do is start with this in chunks. So I'm going to start down here with the base. You can drag outside, do it in pieces, and drag it straight over into the grass. And you can see there's a little bit here at the bottom. Click off of it, and we're going to do this little piece down here again, and we'll take it this way, and it's gone. See? So we're going to take another piece here, and let's go this way with it, bringing it all the way over. Kind of keep it kind of matched up. Try to keep the it level, so that across the top is level, so that you kind of keep the curvature here of the grass. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, maybe make that about 60 so I get in a little closer. And it's not coming over. There we go. And I'm going to move structure up to about a 6 and color up to about a 6. And we're going to keep moving right along. And again, I like to do this in small chunks. I don't want to do too much. Now, see, we have the road there. And you want to move all the way out of the little ants. So I'm going to move this out, and you want to keep the road, keep it level. And let's see how that does. It did pretty good. And if you just take it in small pieces, see how if you do this, look what it does. So you want to keep it level. I'm going to take this, and you can spend a lot of time on it, but you really don't need to. So you get too far over. Look, I'm getting the tree, the edge of the tree. See, I'm pointing, hoping you can see me pointing over here. But you don't want to take that. I don't want to take it too much. So I'm going to bring it right there. And I have a little bit of the urn. So I probably took too big of a chunk, but that's okay, because we're going to come back over here and move that like so. And that's looking really good. So when we get up here to this right here where we've got the concrete. Again, we've got to keep that level so that we keep the road and the edge of the sidewalk matching. And we'll do this one. And you just bring it over. And you want to keep the sidewalk matching. You don't want to go up too far. Look, so you get the street and the grass. You get the grass in the middle of the street. You take it up too far, you get the grass in the middle. You just want to match it. And it's just hand-eye coordination. And that looks pretty decent. Now it's starting to look weird, like it shouldn't have been there in the first place. It looks, and I'm probably going to end up taking that little guy out. And this, I think I'm taking too much of this out because I can't go over into the tree and deselect. So yeah, I'm going to end up taking this whole guy out right here. So I'm going to take part of this out. I'm going to move it this way. Oh, can't get too much because of the shrub. So let's take that out. So you just kind of work on it a little at a time, taking stuff out into the light space. Let's kind of take, and it's kind of getting kind of orangey. So let's see if we take the color up, if that helps, and if not, then we'll take it down. That looks, hello. I've got to click off of it to start over. So let's go ahead and take this big chunk right here. I'm going to take it way over here. This big chunk. Now, if you've noticed, there is a tree right here. We're going to fix that, and I'll show you shortly. Pixels. No pixels were chosen. Okay. Let's bring this way over here. Let's move this over here. We've got some white space over here we can work with. Click off. White space here. Just grab this and this nice little chunk of fern. Move this over here. And I'm kind of trying to start doing this a little more quicker because I want to move this along. And then you're kind of getting along here to this, finishing it. We can also switch over to content aware, and you want to make sure it's on extend, and that's where we take this, and I want to add some grass there. That's what we want to do. I want to take this here, and I'm going to grab that patch and move it over here, and I want to take a piece of this over here, and I want to patch that over here. And you don't have to worry about this because what we're going to end up doing is making a really cool black and white photo of this. And so some of this in here is not really going to matter. So I'm going to take this right here. I'm going to move this over here. And we'll take a little bit more of this, cover up that. Let's take the structure down and the color up. And let's see if we get a little bit better with that. Okay. So anyways, this little hazy part here, we'll just take that over there. Now what we're going to do right here, see we've got some little limbs right here. We're going to, we can fix this right here, but what I'm going to do instead is, see this large limb right here? We're going to replace that over part of this right here with that patch with the content aware. We're going to grab this and we're going to just kind of move this over to here. And then we're going to then do the patch tool again. And we're just going to remove this little guy. And remove that little guy. Just kind of move that little bump out of there. And then it looks like we have a new little limb right there. Now, this tree limb here is missing a bottom half. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to the top, and we're going to go back to the Content Aware Move tool. And we're going to cut a square. It's okay if we get some leaves in there. Whoops, that was a bad cut. No, it's not too bad. We're going to, and remember, we have to make sure we're on extend. Let's see if I can roll down. And we're going to put that right there. Okay, so remember, we're on extend, we're not on move, because if we move, that means we're cutting it or cutting it out. So we moved it. Now I'm going to click off of it, and I'm going to do that again with the same piece. And I'm going to put it right there. You can overlap it a little bit. It's okay, we're going to clean this up a little bit. And again, it's going to be in the background, so it's okay that it's not perfect. And then we're going to take and go back over here to the patch tool. Move that out. And then we can kind of take this right here and kind of blend that a little bit. And take a little bit of that right there and move that out. See, now it looks like it's the bottom of this tree right here. And if you want, you can take a little piece right here and move it up to about right there. Okay, so you can also take a little bit of this haze and just kind of play with it. And again, I don't want to spend too much time here fixing everything, but you can play with it and just kind of play with this tool. It's really kind of fun. I am going to do one last little thing here. There's a blue line right here. I don't know what it is in the photograph. Again, with the patch tool, just kind of grab and move it down out of the way. There's a little dot there, move that. Arrow over, grab it in here, move it out. And one last little place right here to fix that. Move it out here, and that's done. So that's it. That's all we're gonna do. Oh wait, there's one little piece right here of the fern. Grab that, move it out, and then you have this little hole. You're then gonna go back to the Content Aware, drag a piece like so, a square, kind of a square, and bring it over and cover that hole. Fixed. Maybe if you want to make it a little bit more square. Voila. Can't even tell it was there. Okay, so I know there's a little bit of haze in here, but you can just, again, play with the structure and the color. And that's it. So now let's zoom out. Oh, we have these little freaky weird things. I'm not sure what these are. So let's go back one more time to the patch tool. And we're going to just trace over these. You can take them out if you want. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And then I'm just gonna, now we have tree limbs in here. So we want to kind of pick some place where we can kind of cover them up, but there's like a tree limb, so let's back that up. Kind of go up in here maybe, or just kind of over a little because of that tree limb. So maybe go right there to match with that tree limb. And then there's that other one right there that we can take out. Click off of it, take this one, drag that over just a little bit, and then we can take this little piece and drag it over. So when you've got tree limbs to match, you just kind of have to move them around and just play with matching the limbs. So there. And then there's this one right here. Maybe just leave that and just kind of drag it over. Since you don't want to match the tree pattern, the leaves right next to each other, just kind of move it around. And there's this one little one right here. You don't have to, and you don't even have to take those out if you don't want to, but they kind of bother me. So that's it. There. Now we're going to get to the last final little step, and I'm going to zoom back out to about 25%, and here's our little photo, and it looks a lot better now without this big ugly urn with the fern. And now we're going to cut it. We're going to crop it. See, it looks better without those little weird hanging doodads there. So now we're going to crop the photo. Okay, so put a layer above it, inserted a layer, and now I have the little crop tool. So I don't know how that works. Okay, so the crop tool, it says delete cropped pixels. So all we want to do is, I have the crop marks around the corners here. Here's a corner, there's a corner. We're just going to drag. See, we have the crop marks, and we're going to drag to the left. We want to drag all the way to that line, okay, and release. So we leave this here alone on the sides here. We only want to worry about this here on the left, because anything to the left of it, left of the line, we don't want on the picture anymore. We only want anything here on the right side. Okay, so we want to go ahead, once you have that done, you can adjust this a little bit so that it's down to the photo and not on the transparency, and up to the edge, just to the edges of the photo. Okay, remember it's going to be right here at the edge of that tree. And when you have got it right where you want it, you can click OK with the check mark. So now we have our cropped photo. So now all we need to do is, I went ahead and added a layer. If you have not added a layer, go ahead and add a layer above it. And then you're going to copy this layer here. You're going to drag this layer down to the copy. So now you can take this one here and name it right, and then the one above it you're going to name left. Right and left, right? This one's the right side, and that one's going to be the left side. Okay, now we need to, you don't need this line anymore, so you can drag it off the side. Now we need to make our canvas bigger so that we have room to canvas size. And our canvas size is going to be double the width. So mine is sitting right now, where I cropped it, is 42.5. Whatever yours is, wherever, depending on the size that you cropped it, you need to double that. So mine is at 42.5. So I'm going to double mine to 84. I'm going to round it up to 84.5. So I'm going to round mine up to 85. So 85. And say OK. So now I have room. Now, here's where the magic begins. I'm going to click on the left, which is already activated, and I'm just going to use my arrows and actually I'm moving the left one in the incorrect way. I'm going to move I can move my arrows. I'm just going to drag it straight over to here. I'm going to move to the edge, and I'm going to grab the right one. I'm going to move the right one over to here. Now, make sure you clicked on the left one, and the left one is activated. Then you're going to say edit. It is edit, transform, flip horizontally. Isn't that neat? Now, a couple more steps to go and we'll be finished. So you have the left and the right activated. I'm going to, again, while you're clicked here, you're going to click on the adjustment layers, and that's going to turn your photo black and white. I went ahead and I clicked on the brush, tool brush. I chose this brush right here, and then I dialed it up so that it was large enough to fit right in to the tree line right here. Okay, then I went ahead, and while I'm clicked on here on the layer mask, which one did I choose? That got me into the color range. No. Make sure that you're on the black and not the white over here, because what you're going to do is, remember, white masks, white makes it disappear, the black brings the color back. So make sure that the black is on here, and then again you're clicked here, and then you're just going to, I like to leave the grass. If you can bring grass back, you can bring back whatever color you want, but I'm going to show you this cool effect. So I'm just going to start coloring here, and I'm going to start bringing color back. Just do it in little bursts. And I got too much of the grass back, but that's okay. Go back a little bit. That's why you want to do it in little bursts. And I'm going to bring color back to right in through here. And it makes this really neat effect. I'm going to bring back color in the building. I like color right here on this part of the tree. Right in through here. It looks really neat. And my opacity is at 100, and then I like to put color right here because it looks like little horns. It looks really cool. Color, 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 color. And when you look at it, and when you zoom in and look at it, it looks really neat because you see some little faces right down in here around this building, and just color right in here around the tree, right in through here. And actually it kind of does look cool if you kind of put the grass right in through here, but you can do whatever you want. If you want to color all the way down over here to these shrubs, you can color whatever you want and just bring back some color. I even did where I just colorized the little guys over here, and just bring back color wherever you want. And that's kind of the end of my tutorial. I would like to add a little bit just to say that this is my photograph, so all I do is ask that you respect my photography, as it's not copyrighted yet. I am pending copyright on my photo, so please respect my copyright on my photo. This is Tammy Matthews, and thank you very much for watching my tutorial, and I hope I wasn't too basic for you. I know a lot of you are a lot more advanced than I am, and I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you, and I love that little face right there. Look at that little face. Isn't that neat? This little face, little feature. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks.